Hey, girl, hey.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, surviving.
Yeah?
But we were both sick this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just fucking
You know?
gone in bed.
I wish.
Snot filled, coughing, sleeping.
Better than a coffin, though.
Huh?
Better than a coffin.
I mean,
We
sure,
made it
better
out the
being
other
dead, I
side.
guess. I mean, apparently being alive is better than... Being alive is sick is apparently better than being dead. So I've been told. I don't know. I think they're fucking gatekeeping death.
Gatekeeping the gates of
Yo,
hell or
I'm
heaven.
just saying. Like, the Christians make it sound good. Like, why are any Christians alive, man?
For real.
If you really truly believe that death means like you like fucking ghosting it up in the sky with the Lord Jesus, making water into wine and shit and breaking it down with David on
Gold
the dance
streets?
floor, golden streets. I'm just saying, why are we alive?
You know? That's a
And they're like,
solid
well, the Bible
question.
says murder is bad. I'm like, it hasn't stopped you yet. Y'all be colonizing all in these streets, so kill yourself. I don't know. I've been at home all week, sorry. Clearly.
Wrangly.
Just,
She's at the house today, folks. She's at the house today.
holy fuck. Hasn't stopped
Good start.
you
Fresh
yet.
out the gate.
Mass suicide. Let's go. Maybe that's what the rapture is.
Yeah. Well,
Just
who knows? Some people think a new Earth is going to be this Earth, right?
Yeah, after they blow it up. Yo, when I was in church, when I was in Bible school, I noticed that we didn't recycle. Because I was only going, I was spending every day at church. And I was realizing, why aren't we recycling? And so my pastor, the associate pastor, who was my youth pastor growing up, but became my teacher in Bible college after a series of unfortunate events that I still have feelings about.
Lemony Snickets.
Politics. I was like, yo, why don't we recycle? And then this bitch in class was like, pastor says that we don't need to recycle because it's not true. Like, we're not actually gonna run out of oil and whatever's, and like God is gonna make a new earth anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. God gave you. Pastor also said we got dominion over the earth, and it was up to us
Stewardship.
as children of Adam to take care of the fucking planet. So just put the paper in the bin, bruh. Like, it ain't hurting you. And I'm like, pastor, whatever. And he used to get really annoyed with me because I'd be like, I have questions. And so he'd be like, you know what? I make you pastor over recycling. And that was his way of being like, leave me the fuck alone. Just do it. So I called the city.
Distract you with this?
No, I called the city, had them deliver recycling.
Amazing.
And then I was like, I made them like fully recycle. They're probably still recycling it. It's my fault.
Yes. Yes. That's like when I joined the cult in the States, they didn't recycle, but then we had conversations, and even when I went back years later to visit, they were still recycling. And I was like, this is great.
Look at our legacy. Moving, stop being was a little less xenophobic after I left. You're welcome. Singing in multiple languages at your conferences while calling yourself global. I think it's a little too much, Rose-Ingrid. I'm like, you mean you're going to use these people's culture and whatever to make your money, but you're not going to honor them by speaking their language here when they're not around?
Yes.
Because it's too much work for you, white man? Oops. I'm African. No, you're not. You're a white boy whose parents happen to be in Africa because they're colonizers. And now you think you're one of them. I'm sorry. I'm in a mood.
This is an energy.
It's been under 5 minutes and I'm just taking shots. How are you?
Oh man, I'm good. Okay. Yesterday I went to this healing circle.
Okay.
Also, maybe that's it was processing a lot.
Processing some things?
Yeah. Really cool, but it was about ancestral money blocks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Speak on that.
Family constellations work. Highly, highly recommend.
Yeah, I need to go back to therapy.
Yeah.
But also I need to be before the fucking therapy.
People
like, you have benefits. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter if I have to pay it up front. I don't make enough to pay. Stop. You can Google wherever. It's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's inflation.
Yeah.
Blame inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Family constellation work.
Yeah, and it's really cool because we often feel shame because we're like, I've been going to therapy since 23 years old, you know? And I'm like, why the fuck am I still struggling with certain things? Which isn't helpful. I know self-compassion is going to be my liberation.
Mhm.
However, we're still in the process.
What is your liberation today?
It is my liberation right now in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
moment. And I clearly believe it. We'll get
now
there.
faith is the evidence of things unseen
Hey.
and a substance of things
Unheard?
heard. That's yo.
Check it.
Sword
Fact
drill.
check.
Bible check.
But yeah, it was just like, so we carry things that are passed down through our lineage that aren't actually ours. So how can we work with that?
Okay.
It's really, really cool work.
Okay.
But a lot. It's like, you're tired after.
I believe it.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's good. It's just it's can be intense.
Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen.
Hope for nothing.
Yeah. Hope for. There you go. Clearly, we don't read our Bibles anymore.
Don't tell.
It's a secret. You're biblically literate? I'm like, that's not what I said. I don't keep up. I ain't training. I ain't doing my sword drills no more. At least not like that.
What kind of sword drills are you doing these days?
None, to be honest.
Also none.
No, yo. I'm so gay.
Hey, speaking of, what was our thing last week that we were going to take care of ourselves?
Yeah, I did not make out with any women because I was in my fucking bed.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Mucus.
Postponed.
But I had brunch with the girlies yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Some of my homegirls, we like meet, like we had like pulled out our calendar in the fall and like made a once a month like let's get together or whatever.
I love that.
Just to keep, cause if you don't make intentionality, you ain't gonna see nobody. There are people I only see when they show up to my events, which is so bad. I have to text them. So
that's a good recognition. And also then you're doing rituals together.
Yeah. So we went to Frasier to have brunch.
Oh,
our server was adorbs. She was beautiful and had these like awesome tattoos. She went on a second date with a man though. I was like, too bad. She was a cutie. I was like, hey girl. And she's like, I want a second date today. I'm like, oh really? How's it gonna go? I was like, yeah, he's great. I'm like,
that's what you think.
I'm like, I know where the clit is. Just saying.
Did you say it?
No. No, but I'm purposing like, this is like so like corny, but there's this girl, I think her name's Lily. She's on TikTok. She's like a dating coach.
Yeah.
She calls herself a feminist dating coach, which I'm neither here nor there because,
depends on the...
Yeah. But she talked about like dating in real life, which I think like a lot of folks are leaning towards more because the apps are the ghetto.
Oh, brutal. Yeah.
Ghetto. Just one more person just asks me about the size of my breasts or to shit on them or to have their black babies.
I mean, how much are they paying you though?
Fuck out of here. This uterus is closed. Do you know what pregnancy does to your body?
Shit on your titties. That's what I'm talking about.
Yo, apparently people are out here going to Dubai to be toilets.
Yep.
For $50K.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
I would want more.
I'm not that broke. I don't think I've ever been that broke, and I've been broke. I've been poor. I've been poor without the R. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stole that joke. That's probably from Pastor's wife growing up. I was so poor without the OR. But like, no, I couldn't do it. No. So she talks about like she has a scavenger hunt she uses with her clients.
I love that.
So every month you like ask one person out on a date. And also, like, you go and there's like a whole section on creating joy. So you find your homies, your homegirls, whatever, and you go do things that spark joy. And like, so if you want to, I want to take a dance class, go to dance class. Take a pottery class.
Yeah.
Join a sports team. And it's not about just finding, because I was talking to my friend about it. She's like, well, all these I want to do, there are only girls there. I'm like, yes, sure. But the idea is that if you're doing things that spark joy in your life, you're going to be a happier person. You're
it
gonna
goes
be
into everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're gonna walk into the world more open-minded and open-hearted, which is also gonna bring more connection.
Yep.
Furthermore, you're expanding your soft ties and your social circle. So maybe the girlies in your pottery class aren't gonna be your next partner because that's not what you're in your role. But maybe her roommate will be. Maybe her older brother. Maybe her coworker. Maybe her cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe her daddy, depending on who you hang out with. I don't know. I mean, we're getting to that age, but you never know.
Kind of wild.
And so, like, do these things like every month, like flirt imperfectly with like 3 people every week, and like
flirt
you check off the box. Yeah, just go out there, like go out with your friends, not a big group, like 2 or 3. Don't have to be too fancy. Go like have a drink somewhere, but like with the purpose of like just being open-minded and like, and also like lock eyes with a cutie, like in public, whatever. I'm like, I love that. But I think even in like the like whether you're applying it like intentionally or not, the idea of walking around the world and like thinking about that and being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have eye contact. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna notice people. I'm gonna purpose to do that. I think it's also a thing, and I think like we were talking about it yesterday because she has younger sisters, and like one of them's been dating all her life, and we were talking about it because we all have our insecurities, and it's like, oh well, my sibling is more attractive to me. It's like, well, no,
to whom,
right? It's another thing. Comparison's not helping us, but your sister does have more experience because she didn't have all the baggage of repressing herself her entire life. And so all of the awkwardness you're feeling now in your late 20s, like she felt in high school.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so it's really a numbers game.
That's cool.
And so you think about like second adolescents and like evangelicals who like leave church. And,
that's so real.
Right? Queer folks experience second adolescence a lot of times. Well, maybe less now because they're coming out earlier. Lucky for y'all. I love that for you. In my day, no one was gay. All right? No one was gay in high school. It was like a friggin' slur.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, of course there were queer folks. We were all there. But in the aughts, it wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? People lost careers. Yeah. And so, and I think there's like a parallel between like post-evangelicals and queer folks and second adolescents in their like 20s or 30s.
Yeah.
Figuring out who they are as a sexual being all of a sudden. Crazy.
That's real.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you going to do something this week in regards to the treasure hunt? What's it called? Scavenger hunt?
Sure. I guess. It's so funny because I guess I should, huh? You're looking at me like...
Not should.
Fine. I mean, it's not that like a lack of want per se. But it's just easy to be like, shit to do. But I've been saying that. I will continue to... I will flirt imperfectly with some strangers this week.
Amazing. I can't wait to hear the stories.
Hopefully it's not at work. There's no one to flirt with at work. No.
Yeah, we don't show where we eat.
God, no. I've never made that mistake.
That's a joke.
Look, I learned the hard way.
That rule has served me well.
It's a good rule.
It's a good rule.
The problem with that rule is when you out here living at work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's where we spend most of our time, which is wild.
Yeah. Whenever in the restaurant industry, everyone.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, I could have.
Yeah.
I didn't. But I could have. I think some people clocked it too. One of the dishwashers, he was a mess. He was hilarious. I love that guy. He was like, you have a crush on so-and-so, don't you? I'm like, no. And I had to, I'm like, that clocks. That tracks.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But, I was there for business. Make my schmuns. Also, like, being the only woman in the kitchen, you gotta...
No shenanigans.
No.
We're not making this messier.
No. You will respect the work.
But when I was in the social work field, there was this one guy that, such a good dude. And I considered it because we were in different agencies. But I was like, we made out, but like, that's it. But I was like, maybe, like, and then he got a job with our agency. And I'm like, thank fuck.
But if you were already a couple, it would be different.
Yeah, I guess. But then if it didn't work out, and then it's like, but I think we were both mature enough that it would have been fine.
I don't know.
Write in and let us know your messy stories. Please do.
One day I'll ygrconfessions@gmail.com. I love that you don't remember what our fucking email is. No, I'll tell some of those stories eventually. I think I need a little more distance.
Yeah.
Some of those may never be told in public.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Maybe never. That's okay.
I'll have to check with some people first.
Oh, yes. We love consent.
Yeah, consent's good.
We want to practice that.
Consent is great. No, it's weird. But yeah, you know what? Summertime's coming and we're going to be outside.
Yes.
Like, not like outside, but we're going to be outside.
Yeah.
Because it's nice outside.
Yeah.
You know, it's warm. And
let's just climb trees, you know?
I climb trees. You know what? I was be like, I don't climb no trees, but then I was like, you know,
girls got needs.
I love me some thick thighs, and I'm gender indiscriminate about that too.
There's many thighs to be climbed.
You know, like a flock of goat on Mount Gilead. Let me serenade you with Song of Solomon.
And go. This is the spoken word today.
Won't you dance with me, oh lover of my soul, to the song of all songs? Behold, you have come over the hill.
Or on me.
I
had a few back shots this morning. It was great. And 2 O's.
I was going to respond, and then I realized that that's not public. So, I'm glad that happened. I'm sure he loves that we talk about this.
Oh, absolutely.
That's great. I'm glad. I'm glad that you are getting taken care of in your relationship.
Good. Yeah, it's nice. Really nice. Yeah. And to be washed, so intimate.
Oh,
so tender.
That's so sweet.
Isn't it?
He bathes you.
Yeah.
Jacob.
You want to end this?
Do you not bathe women? You've never bathed a girl you were into?
You're like,
is
why
that
did
not
I
what the Gen Zs don't do that? They don't bathe each other romantically in the tub. He goes, you've never washed a woman's hair sensually? He's like, too much attention on me. This is not my podcast.
I mean, I've never had it done, but I'm about
You've
it.
never washed your hair?
No, he does, but not anyone else. Never had that.
That's I also that's the Haitian.
Yeah. 1000%.
That's the Haitian.
Yeah.
They're romancers. They're bullshit, but they're romancers. Yo, I just booked a gig for Father's Day. I'm so excited.
Ooh, where?
In Montreal. The producer of Bulge was like, jumped on the Facebook group, like, Bulge comedy. And was like, Nat, they were like, yo, who wants to do a roast of their dads? And I was like, I've built for this. I've trained my entire life. I slid into the DMs. I'm like, yo,
oh my God.
I'm ready to roast my deadbeat dad. And they were like, that is the energy I'm looking for. I'm like, yes. So I'm going to write a whole new 10 minutes just roasting the fuck out of that bitch ass sperm donor.
That's amazing.
Who's never, I still don't, apparently the current wife he's with, because there's multiple, he has 3 kids with, and apparently he's raising those, and I still don't believe he's raising kids.
Yeah.
I refuse to.
Yeah.
There's too many there's at least 5 of us who weren't raised, so.
Yeah, man.
Waste man. And apparently I'm doing a Mother's Day show too, and I'm like, yo, I have to be nice at those ones. It's actually not a roast of moms. It's actually just a Mother's Day weekend, and I'm like, how did this happen?
But could we?
I feel like I already do. I actually called me this week. I didn't call her back. But no, I was sick, and I was like,
you're gonna take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Good.
I just didn't want to.
Yeah. You'd be feeling great. And be like, it's just not for me.
I'm such a horrible
That's okay. You're really not, though.
I know I'm not.
It's hard.
It is. It's complicated.
It's complicated.
You know,
Yeah.
love and like are two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like, is it an obligation or is it like the right thing to do?
I mean, it is.
You know?
It is. You know? But also,
Fuck that shit.
kind of. It's just. One day we'll have a therapist on the pod and we can talk about it.
Yes.
But, you know, like, the loudest negative voice in my head probably comes from my mom. And so it's hard, you know? C'est difficile. But I'm also fully, like, everything that she made me to be. So.
Yeah. And that could be, like, her mom or someone. And,
but
generation.
for good. Like, I look at my life and go, this is purely byproduct of who raised me. So, you know.
Thank you for the life you give.
And also, like, why?
And
why
also,
were you so mean to me?
You can take that part.
You were supposed to love me.
Shit.
And I am telling you. Yo, this is really chaotic today.
We needed one.
Mountain, yell, scream and shout. You can say what you want. I'm not walking out. Boom, boom, boom. Push, strike, and kill. I'm not gonna leave you. There's no way I will. And I am telling you. I'm not going. Except I went, and I went so far. I ran.
I ran way past.
Yeah, no caught there for 5 years. I ran. Ran, Lord Jesus, I ran. Didn't get a cold pop. I was freaking cold. You know, ain't nobody got time for that shit. Lord, didn't stop for my shoes or nothing. I just ran.
You ran the good race.
Is that what the Lord is going to say to me at the end of the days?
Potentially.
When we all have our mass suicide for Jesus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
What's the
It's
communion
delicious.
wine? So dang.
Speaking of communion, I feel like I should have some wine soon.
I love wine.
You know?
Let's
Yeah.
go out for wine.
Okay.
Yo, I used to love hosting communion at my house. I'd bake bread.
We can still do that.
I'd bake bread
Break
from
bread
scratch.
with your enemies.
No, but I didn't break bread with some frenemies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Gotta keep them close.
No, I had to love
Just the
everyone for
enemies.
Jesus.
Oh, right. Yeah.
There are a lot of frenemies.
Stay in unhealthy codependent relationships for Jesus.
Okay, actually, this is really weird, but I've been watching Grey's Anatomy and I've been like taking it in, and I feel like I better understand some people that used to be in my life now watching this show. So I'm like, oh, these are the references I used to make back in the day when the show was like on, right? And I'm like, you're seeing this group of people who have really hard jobs and they love each other, but they also say some of the worst things to each other. There's a lot of forgiveness and there's a lot of whatevers, and they just like show up at people's house. I'm like, in the middle of the night, like I'm sad or I'm heartbroken, and they're like, yes. And I feel like there is a certain level of that community.
Yeah.
When we were in Jesus land.
Yeah.
Where like you could just show up at my door on a Wednesday night with a bottle of wine and be whatever. So we talk and like that exchange of space and of
people bring you food.
Yes.
They take care of you.
Yeah, and you don't have to ask, even when you're like, oh, I don't need it, they would force it upon you because, you know, you did need it.
Yeah.
And I feel like post-Jesus, there's less of that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's good or not.
Yeah, I think, it's finding that community outside of it. I feel like that exists. We just haven't.
But I feel like in some spaces, like I think of folks who are post-evangelical or post-Christian in that space, who like are lovely people and are supportive, but there's like, I think they like draw a line where it's like, I help you when it's easy for me or when it's convenient for me, or like when, and again, it's not a bad thing to say I have boundaries.
Yeah.
But also I think that there may be like this overuse of the word of boundaries in a way that is actually like
avoidance.
No, it's just not, it's harmful to community building.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, even it's like that girl on TikTok who's been talking about like, how no one asks for small favors anymore. Well, why would I ask you for a ride to the airport? I can Uber there. I'm like, Oh yeah, I love getting picked up from the airport by a friend. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
nice. Yeah.
But we don't do that anymore,
Yeah.
right?
We're more isolated.
Or like, you know, like folks used to be like, "Oh, you're fucking stressed and anxious and whatever and overwhelmed because I don't know where to start with your room. I'll come and I'll clean it with you." And it would be like, "Really?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, there's no shame, there's no guilt. Let's go."
Yeah.
Right? And like
Body doubling.
But it's not body doubling. Body doubling is just I'll sit in the room and watch you while you clean.
Right.
But no, like I will get in the mess with you, and I've been that person. I've had people be that person for me.
Yeah.
Like I just came to your house and did your dishes.
Yeah.
And I left you some soup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think some of that is good.
So good.
That community care, but I feel like there's this world. I don't know. Like post that world, and when you that like it's just different.
Mm-hmm.
There's care, but it's also like, I have this. These are my boundaries. These are my spoons. This is whatever's, and outside of that, I can't. And I think there's something good in that, but I think also I wonder if there's a loss in that.
Yeah,
because I look at some of the situations in my 20s. I'm like, yeah, they were a lot, and sometimes it was overwhelming. But also, I look at the fruit of that now, and I go, this person's alive and with us because of it, right? And we built really close connection because of this.
Yeah.
And
it's like doing life together.
Well, I think, and also we came from a world where sacrificing yourself for others was like a norm. And I wonder if there's a loss of that.
Yeah.
That like as a value when you come to the more secular space.
Yeah, because we praise women for sacrificing so much, right?
Sure. Yep.
Themselves. However, I think there's like a balance that we are missing. Because we kind of swing the other way.
Say more.
Okay, once upon a time.
Long time ago. Yeah.
Maybe, and people might just be like so burnt out right now, you know? Like I feel like there's so many different factors.
Sure.
But I think that community does exist, maybe less so in white spaces, outside of evangelicalism or outside of Christianity.
White people are more likely to do it in faith, but less likely to do it outside of it.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wonder also, like, if there's this thing of like, we're all going to therapy. I think it's also, I wonder if there's a class aspect to it as well.
Yeah. Everyone's just so stretched.
No, not even that. I just think that people who are wealthier or who are more educated are more selfish, to be honest.
I see.
I used to have, like, I remember being in Toronto and living in this fucking broke ass basement apartment. I had no furniture. I was sleeping on an air mattress, okay? I had a corporate job and I was auditioning and I had no furniture. Man, my pipes blew at one point. Oh, yeah. And I remember I left for Christmas, and so I had done all this grocery shopping. So I was like, I don't want to waste the food. So I chopped it all up, cleaned it, freezed it. I made like big batches of soup and froze it. And a friend of mine had broken up with her partner on the other side of the country. I was like, yo, I have nowhere to go. I don't want to do. I'm like, you know what? Mi casa, su casa. And flew into Toronto. I was like, you can stay here as long as you want. My freezer has soup and veg and whatever. I work at a restaurant. I helped them get a job there. And like, you can have my air mattress.
Wow.
I have nothing, but and I just like, and I was like, to me, that was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And this person, like, we have like similar backgrounds too, whatever's. And eventually, like, they did go back to home and whatever. But like, they could have stayed there as long as they wanted to, and I would have been like, say less, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And I just feel like most people I know would be like, that's no, I can't even afford to feed myself. I can't. I don't have enough to host you.
Right.
And I'm like, I used to host dinners with my roommates for 21 people in our 2-bedroom broke ass apartment in the hood. Right? In our little kitchen. It was not a kitchen. It was a fucking
dinner.
It was a minute. We would invite our entire neighborhood. The kids would come. They bring their football friends.
I love that.
Right? And we didn't have much.
Yeah.
I was broke. And I wonder if there's also a certain level of like I don't know. It's weird because like you see folks and like, oh, I can't host people. Why my house is not set up for what? Or
that's another thing.
I can't give. I'm like, why? I don't have it. I'm like, yo, you come to my house right now. If there's nothing in the fridge, my nothing is your nothing.
Yeah. There's a different kind of richness, and I think we get so focused on my house has to be clean a certain way to have people over. And no one, like you say, life is not keep upable, you know? And especially in this economy, everyone's so exhausted living through a pandemic.
Sure.
But like even before all that,
Yeah.
it's like we just need to accept where we're at. But I think there's such a focus on riches, like money, material things,
Sure.
that we forget about the richness of connection and community. And who gives a fuck if your dishes are piled up, you know?
Yeah.
Or you don't have as much food to offer.
Or whatever.
But there's different cultures that aren't, they have less and they give so much.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's like
and it's just weird because I'm like, when people are like, I don't have much, and I'm like, you've never been broke, Daniel.
It's a thing. It's like, it's scarcity, it's fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, I guess it's also interesting as someone who's experienced upward mobility.
Mm.
And that, like, because of where I've gone to school and the people I spend time with and the kind of books I read and the things I can consume, you know? Like, and I realized, I'm like, oh, you know what? And we all have the same quote unquote values on paper.
Mm.
Like, we talk about mutual aid and, you know, community care and theories about, like, I don't know, decolonization or whatever. But it's a lot of it is theory.
Yeah.
And most of these people have, like, learned it through books and have not seen it applied in life. And I'm just like, oh, it's so... And it's funny because if you look at other spaces that may not seem as quote unquote progressive or whatever's, it's there.
Mm.
And I don't know. I feel like it's something I'm noticing more as I straddle worlds, that like the higher my class, at least the higher the average fucking salary is in my space is, the less intimate world becomes.
Yeah. It's more isolating, more individualistic. Yeah. Whereas like what's gonna heal us all is that community, is that pooling resources, is that sharing, even if we think it's less than. Yeah. That's actually what's gonna heal us and create abundance and wealth.
And like we're hard because you go, yeah, you're not gonna like misgender me or whatever, but you know, whereas I know folks who can pick a pronoun from whatever's, but like they're down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just, you know, it's just been a lot of things I've been crossing my mind lately, just because, like, you know, my pocketbook says one thing, but like my spirit's in another place, and you just like, I also have expensive tastes. I'll admit it.
I like nice things.
I miss being able to enjoy a $10 bottle of wine. Those days are so foregone. You know what's bad? When I used to host cocktail classes for fucking corporate guys online. I was just the host. I wasn't the bartender.
Now you are the corporate guy.
I know, for corporations. And we'd go around and like ask people, like, you know, they'd be like Amazon or Google or whatever, like these big companies or like these lawyer firms or whatever. And you go around and ask people like the favorite thing to drink is, introduce themselves, where you're from, calling from, what's your go-to drink, you know, beverage. And this girl's like, oh, I like red wine. I'm like, oh, cool. I drink red wine. So I try to build rapport. I'm like, oh, what do you like? Like, I love Riojas and you know, and Malbecs. And she goes, well, that's fancy. And I was like, bitch, what do you mean? Ain't that fancy? Like, maybe you just should read the bottles you drink. I don't know. Like, shit. That's when I was like, oh, white people think I'm fancy?
I'm
like,
extra bougie.
Like, I'm sitting out here like trying to make my $20 an hour. I'm like, yo, rich white people out here like calling me fancy. Am I that?
I'm that bitch.
No. When did that happen? I don't know. I wrestle. I struggle.
That was like, okay, so this morning we had to postpone because someone was sick for brunch, but I'm like, I miss going, like doing leisurely things and like going out for brunch or like, I mean, we'll get there again, but the connectedness, I'm missing that connectedness and those rituals together.
We had like, I look back at my missionary days, okay, when I fundraised my salary badly because shame. And I'm too immigrant for that shit. Okay? I was like, you want me to ask people for money when I have 2 hands and 2 feet and can work for it myself? when I have a very strong IQ and was a gifted kid and raised by an educator, my mom did not come across the ocean for me to beg for my salary. Y'all don't understand. Also, who do you want me to ask? The niggas in my life ain't giving me cash. Let me like get a job. Anyway, but I was broke. But let me tell you, we gathered, we ate, we laughed, we cried, we danced, we sang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's ways.
Oh, and we lived in a hole.
Yeah.
Hell, people came over when we were overrun with bed bugs for 8 months. Yo, they were the bed bugs that would not die. Yo, one day, we're coming on because our fucking neighbor.
The bed bugs are the worst.
Our neighbor apparently had left the fucking couch or whatever. Anyway, you could like see them, an army of them coming down the hallway from his door.
Stop it.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard sleeping for a while after that. It was 8 months of just like depresso and waking up with like inflamed faces and people crying and scared, and I had to shut it down. Oh yeah.
That shit spread so quick.
And being treated like a little pariah in all these social circles. Yeah. And it's weird because like people like celebrated that. Like it was like a badge of honor in those circles. And I was like, you know how dumb this is?
Ew.
Oh yeah. I remember going to move-in conference one year and like there was like a game as part of the conference, like with bed bugs and cockroaches, like because we all like lived in low income spaces where that was normal. And so
oh my God.
And so that was our sacrifice for the Lord. And so we like, hey, here's a game. Is that a bed bug or whatever? And I'm like, you do know that our neighbors don't have a choice. You're a fucking engineer. You're a nurse. You own land. You don't have to live there. So to make light of this real plight that our neighbors actually have to live through, do you know what I can't afford? I was broke, but what I could afford to wash my sheets every time I found one. Right? I had places to go hide out. My neighbors did not have that. We found it, and that night took an Uber to the store and bought like garbage bags or whatever, which my neighbors couldn't afford that. So like, this is not, that's why I'm just cosplaying poverty is not cool, even for Jesus. Thank you. I did not enjoy being poor. I would not wish it upon anyone. I do not want to be poor ever again. And if you really want to help the poor, stop pretending to be poor for clout. Put on your fucking suit, go to City Hall, and ask them to not be slumlords. Go to fucking Parliament and advocate for your fucking neighbors. Put on a tie. Stop this. It's offensive.
Oh,
I'm so glad
that's
I left.
yucky.
I'm so glad I left before they started $1 a day. They did a $1 a day fundraiser.
Oh, that's like one night in the cold, and then you know what it's like to be homeless?
Where they would literally go, I'm going to live on $7 this week and donate the rest to charity I'm like, stop this. So here's what I ate in a day, living on $1 a day.
And then
I've done that in recent memory. Like, fuck right off. It was so wild to be living in Toronto and to be broke and to be like, ooh, I have $7 in my bank account and I need to eat, and to go to the little market and go, this little tray of vegetables is like $2. And if I buy this and whatever and a can of beans, I could eat for the week.
Yeah.
And to watch people who I know have cash pretend to be
to feel good about themselves.
And I'm sorry, don't tell me it's not, you don't feel good about it.
Yeah,
it's not for me. Isn't it though?
Yeah, let's hope that they've done some self-reflection.
They haven't.
God damn it.
We had a conversation in 2020. It did not end well. And I was
and
like,
then the panini came.
No, it was during the lockdown.
Oh.
He's like, how can I help? I'm like, you can stop, the racism and the displacing poor people from their homes. You can stop the casual colonialism.
Like when you lay it out and they still choose.
Yo, when you look at it and you realize what we did, I was like, yo, we're actively gentrifying neighborhoods in the name of God.
That's like when they're like, okay, you get to choose ministries. And Laura, you're going to go to the Freedom Center as a white woman going into the projects in Florida to build relationship, but really build kids programs. To
trick them to Jesus.
To trick them
to trick them to your religion. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
You're going to pick up garbage and build. People don't want relationships. Why am I going into the what?
If you want
Why
to
am I
go
manipulating?
help, I think like charity is good. You want to go help,
If-
go feed, go help, go advocate, dedicate your life to that, and shut up about your other stuff.
Yeah. And if you actually do build relationship, invest long term, and say like what is an actual need and sustainable ways, not just to feed your ego or manipulate people.
Or just, I remember the Big Give.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was on the freaking committee for that, like citywide planning team for that 1 year. And I was living in the hood. Time I was like working for Move In, and I signed us up to do a Big Give in our neighborhood. And we were the only one that did not have a Big Give at a church site. So churches signed up to do these free garage sales or whatever. Mm-hmm. There were giveaways on their church properties for the communities. I'm like, yeah, but half of y'all don't have neighbors. So people have to drive to you to come get free stuff. And I remember being at this meeting and be like, excuse me, what if we just actually found, I'm sure there's people in your churches who already live in these neighborhoods you want to support. Let's have these events in the neighborhood. Let's make it super accessible. Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, no, because
we're trying to get them to the church.
If we do it in their neighborhood, how are we going to force them to come to our church? Yeah. Or how is it going to be a promotion for us? How is our church going to get glory if we don't do it in their neighborhoods? If we do it in the neighborhoods. And I was like, no, we are not going to do it at our church. We have neighbors. We can support them, whatever. Me and my roommates did it together with like zero budget. I called some friends in the suburbs. They didn't donate some money. Our church donated some money. So a lot of our friends volunteered. Our apartment was just stuffed with donations.
I love that.
The local Catholic church gave us tables and chairs.
We just
showed up and called up. I'm like, hello. Man, I was so bold back then. I just cold call churches. Be like, excuse me. Hi, my name is Rose-Ingrid and I'm doing this thing and we need this and da. Can you help us? Sure. Cool. You need a truck. Okay, cool. I heard there's a place, Paul Rushforth, whatever. There's a real estate agent in Orleans. They would give free trucks to charity.
Oh.
Call them up like, hey, can we borrow your truck, whatever it is? And we got someone, my friend's dad, because I couldn't drive, offered to drive the truck. And we got a stage from a Catholic church in Orleans to put in the pool so people could perform on it. Just crazy things.
I love that.
Crazy things.
Yeah.
Like just these coming together. People coming together.
Yep.
And I remember my pastor at the time was like, oh, because one of the other neighborhood groups was doing block parties every year in another neighborhood. And they would have like musicians, but they would be like Christian musicians from church singing Christian songs. And then they would have someone share the testimony. So really, is it the block party for the neighborhood or is it a bait and switch so you can preach at them? And I always hated that shit. I'm like, no one wants to listen to you sing Mumford and Sons for Jesus karaoke. Like, no one asked for that. Okay? You're in the ghetto. These guys don't listen to that shit. Put on some rap music. Okay, put on some R&B and leave them be. Give them some food and some music and some water slides and call it a day. Be a good neighbor. Anywho, so pastor's like, oh, well, who's going to be preaching? I'm like, no one. He's like, oh, I think I'm not going to, without the consent of the parents of these children, come into this very, very family-oriented neighborhood full of multiple ethnicities and backgrounds and religions who are my neighbors, some of whom trust me with their kids, and trick them into coming to church.
Yes.
We love them because that's what we're called to do.
Like actual love, yeah.
So no, we flew in rappers from Florida and guys from Toronto who like, doing freestyle and whatever. Some of them were Christian rappers, but they were like, we brought in, a rap concerts and we gave up prom dresses.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
But a whole rack of prom dresses. Family from the suburbs I used to know from my old church barbecued for us all day. They bought all the hot dogs.
Love barbecue.
Free. We had some of the people who wanted to help out. They're like, our dream is to have a bouncy castle and a cotton candy. I'm like, do it. And we figured out how to do it, and we found the money for it, and all of that. And people are like, why did you do it? Because we love you. Because you're my neighbor, and I want to do that. What? Yeah. What church? We're from a lot of different churches. I'm your neighbor, and we just wanted to support you. I'm like, I refuse. And people came out. I think people like were down, were were like underestimating us. And a lot of the old folks came through. Were like, oh, I'm like,
So satisfying. That's
oh
so
yeah,
satisfying.
I love being underestimated. I'm like, y'all didn't know I don't lose.
That's like other events that you recently played.
I'm like, please underestimate me.
Yes.
Oh, that's so ambitious of you, ain't it though? Ain't it though? You just wish I was just carried myself smaller.
You don't want to actually move mountains.
Yo, I'm sorry. Do you know what blood flows through my veins? My people,
the revolution,
killed our whites. Okay, I stand by that. I'm like, nah. Anyway. I hate the bait and switch. Help people just to help them.
The other ministry was inner city kids.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
And I would sing what was it? Some people want it all,
but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, Jesus.
I
hate that shit.
Yeah, I was like, even then when I was like drinking the Kool-Aid more, I was like, this is embarrassing. But I'm doing it.
Look, it was not embarrassing. Kanye was doing that shit after, like years later, making it mainstream, making millions off that shit.
I mean,
the Jesus versions of songs.
So tacky.
Make me lose my breath. Make me water.
Make me holy.
Holy water.
We should definitely make up some songs and like change all the lyrics. That should be an episode.
I'd be like, I bow my head.
Fall to the altar.
Praying to you on my knees for holy water.
We need to trademark that. First of all, we need to ask consent for
this is the air I breathe. Jesus.
Yes.
Take the wheel. I also just love how which people get to be human and which ones can't. Like Carrie Underwood can be a full-on like pop star, but she's a Christian because she's a good blonde white Christian girl. You know what I'm saying?
Wholesome.
She gets to sing about getting drunk and like fucking a man she doesn't know in Vegas, and we're cool with it. They'll play her version of fucking Jesus Take the Wheel on the fucking radio. But like, heaven forbid someone drops an F-bomb in a song and they're like excommunicated from Christian music.
Right. I love that song.
Which one?
King's Kaleidoscope.
Oh yeah. I remember that came out. I'm like, I was out of the game, but I was like, good for you guys.
I know. I was like, yes.
But I remember reading the blog, the new release Tuesday review. Oh, this dude was so cheesy. He wrote a whole. I will pull it out one day. He wrote a whole thing about like, I'm tired of Christian artists just using curse words and using a da 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 da. And this is the last straw. And I'm like, yo, bro, this is a Wendy's. Calm down. Like.
Also, they did it knowing to relate to the people, and it was going to cost them.
Also, I mean, half these guys, do you know what half Christian music is doing on their fucking spare time? Do you know how many Christian songwriters aren't Christians? So many of the old school, like the heyday of the 2010s, these guys were fully drinking and doing things, but like, their brand, they couldn't sell the music they love to make without pretending to be something they were not.
Oh, exhausting.
Yo, smoking weed.
Can we just let humans be humans?
Cheating on their wives. Don't many Christian rappers cheated on their wives in the 2010s? My goodness.
Maybe have a conversation first.
My gosh. I'm sorry. I'm like, Christian music business is a wild place. It's a wild. I had friends, they were in a Christian rap group, and one day a record label exec was like, hey, we'll make you the Christian Beastie Boys if you drop your black friend.
Oh, yeah. That's wild. I mean, not shocking, but...
Show business is business. Money talks. There's so much money in Christian music. If I could figure out a way to make money in Christian music, I would.
Yeah.
I'm still mad at myself that I missed my window.
Yeah, why not explain? What the fuck's wrong?
Well, it's not even that. When I had the track and I believed, I didn't understand the business. And I had a track on the album that I'm pretty sure could have been radio fucking fodder, and I missed the boat, bro.
You gotta hop on the next sailboat, though. We're gonna sail the 7 seas.
I don't know, man. Because those drag queens are making music for Jesus and making cash.
Yes.
Shout out Flamey Grants.
Yep.
You know? pissing people off and taking that money to the bank.
Yep, making top charts.
You know, give him a Dove award. Let's go.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions this week?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we do.
Okay. Thanks for the question.
Okay. Here is
We
a
love your
questions.
questions.
It's questions.
Ask us questions. Yeah. It's a hit.
Oh my god.
I
Okay.
know, but dweeb. It's okay.
What was your perception of people your age in your neighborhood, your classmates, etc., who did not attend church or youth group? There's another part to this. Do we want to?
Sure.
And then it's what sort of ideas or preconceived notions did you have around a secular lifestyle?
Have any thoughts? We had different Christian childhoods.
Yeah.
So my mom was Christian culturally. So we were evangelicals at home. And I grew up going to church up until I was like 12 in a world where kids were normal, but just happened to go to church. It wasn't until I started going to fucking Pentecostal church and, you know, skipping Halloween for Jesus
My
and
people.
shit. And got introduced to like evangelicalism and born againness and whatever is that like shifts. I mean, I snapped a couple of Backstreet Boys CDs for Jesus.
Oh, I threw out Backstreet Boys, Destiny's Child, TLC. TLC.
I rebought them. Don't worry about it. I have repurchased. Look, I had Millennium. I repurchased it. Same with NSYNC's fucking. When I figured out that was bullshit, I'm like, no, the Lord did not ask me to give up. Friggin' okay. It makes me ill to see you chill. There's worse things. But there was a time where I was like super intense, around like 9th grade. And like all my brother and everyone in the hood was like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Like I got really intense. Like I was too cool. I didn't go trick or treating because I was not God, and I wasn't listening to secular music and only Christian music and Christian rap. I was listening to fucking John Rubin.
What you dippity doing?
Yo, I went to see him for a concert once. I won his tickets on the radio
good.
for my birthday. I was like, y'all got me kidding, man. So y'all treat hip hop like some sort of religion. Follow the rules 1, 2, and on through to it. You don't create hip hop. Hip hop created you. Oh, hindsight is a beautiful. I love John Rubin. PATASKALAOHIO. Like a little white boy from Pataskala, Ohio.
I also loved Manifest.
Oh, yo,
I saw him at Make Convention.
The skater church out west there. He was always fucking perform there.
Oh,
These are always these youth events at this big skate church in the middle of butt fucking nowhere.
Oh,
Here, yeah.
I missed out.
No, man, I love me some John Rubin and early Lecrae.
Lecrae. Love Lecrae.
Okay, Lecrae the person or Lecrae the rapper?
The music. But there are
today's Lecrae.
I mean, it's been a minute since I've like. I don't know if there's like fresh stuff.
I don't know if I've loved any Lecrae. I mean, Church Clothes Volume 1 and 2 was dope. What's that song? Oh, it had a dope ass hook. I'm gonna have to find it. Oh, it had a really sweet hook. Oh, it's gonna bother me.
There's who sings oh shoot, what is it? El Shalom, you're my provider, and Lord, I worship you. Who sings that? Isn't Lecrae on that one? Oh, it's one of my faves. It's still good.
Yeah, but I just feel like eventually it was more like Lecrae was. Jay Givens was out here murking microphones. Christian hip hop did not deserve that, man. I'm just saying. And that's the thing, man. Humble Beast was out here like just churning out bars. Okay? And I'm like, there's a point where I was like, I respect what Lecrae was doing, like career, like how he was like really pushing against the whole like Christian rap or whatever's in the early days of his transition when he started awakening. But like the music was like,
yeah, I don't know enough now, but like years ago when there was starting to be like a breakaway from the church or like having those hard conversations, but I don't know what came of it. But I was like, fuck yeah.
Oh, Lucky Ones. On the Gravity album. That was when it's all said and done, you and I are the lucky ones. We've hoped many. We'll fight the night until the work is done. We are the lucky ones. Oh, anyway, that's probably the last Lecrae song I liked. Yeah, no, Molly Music was out here like giving us R&B.
So good.
Yo, Molly, wherever you are, I need a album version of that like fucking song story he does.
It's
Job, the Job one.
The Job.
The story of a man who was a God-fearing man. Da 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 da. Have you ever seen that? You know what I'm talking about? The one where the guy like almost dies, and then God said, "Yo, it's a whole story." He's like a very R. Kelly like storytelling song, but it's all dramatic.
Yeah.
Yo, I love me. When I was in my like angry at like the church, but still a Christian phase, I was like, "I hate you."
That song.
You thought you could kill me.
I hate you.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Yo, I was quoting that on Twitter like, "I hate you." I hate you. You thought you could kill me, but it's not gonna be easy. I hate you. And little white man would be like, "Why do you mean, Rose-Ingrid? Who do you hate?" I'm like, "It's about the devil. It's a lyric, okay? I'm just treating this like MSN. Leave me alone, sir."
I also got in trouble for that song because we used to carpool to Kingston Church in the living room there. And then I would play that song and another girl really liked it. And then I got in trouble. They're like, "Why are you playing that? You're just feeding into the hate." And I was like, "It's actually about Satan." And they're like, "Oh."
Yo, Molly Music. I had a friend who was like convinced she was going to marry him.
I mean, yeah.
But Molly Music? Shout out to Molly, man.
True artistry.
Yo.
Yeah.
Also, like, Molly Music, like, a prop to me, like, was so impactful. Like, excellence was so impactful in my journey. I don't think I'd be here in some ways without excellence.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Like, I remember living in Orleans, putting that album on, and I used to walk everywhere because I was broke. So I just take the long... You know, I used to walk so much more before Uber. And I remember hearing some songs, and I remember being like, I stopped dead in my tracks in the middle of the sidewalk, being like, I did not know we could say these things out loud and still be a Christian.
Right?
And to see these guys who were writing like really robust, theological, like thought out work, but it was artistically, it wasn't just like, I wrote a song just so I could talk about God. The song is crap. It's 4 chords. The rhymes are predictable. Melody can be written by my 5-year-old nephew.
It catches.
but like it's just very much like this is like songs written for school. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas these guys were clearly lyricists.
Yeah.
They were clearly understood rap culture, but also they had a passion about this stuff. And like, and Prop as a poet, like he's a spoken word artist too, right? And just when he wrote Precious Puritans, I was like, tell the white colonizers about their heroes.
Please turn up the volume.
The Puritans. Yo, the TGC guys were so mad. There was like weeks of blogs being written about this. They were so offended. How dare you call our founding fathers colonizers and rapists? Cause they fucking were.
I wonder if now they see any of it.
And the thing is also, if you listen to the piece, he ends with, "That's why you shouldn't listen to me, your precious propaganda." Because I too think about myself before others. I too am full of fucking shit. I am also a crooked stick, right? Like, that's the whole point of the gospel. God uses crooked stick to make straight lines. So like, hello, we all sucked. Calm down. But why are you worshiping these men? Also, why would you quote Cortez in front of Mexicans knowing what they did to that? I'm just like, say less, fam. I just didn't know I could do that and still be in the team. I met him in 2016.
What?
On my way out of... So I was in Chicago at Moody Bible Institute for the Missions Week. I was there for work. And I loved Missions Week. Shout out to Clive. Clive was the homie, man. They pushed him out, which really sucked. But he gave me a quote I still use to this day. Because I remember I saw propaganda was at this like very, like, again, conservative, evangelical, like, university. Women can't preach, blah, 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 whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was teaching workshops on art and mission there. For the second year straight, and did some spoken word shit. And propaganda was one of the speakers. And I looked at Clive. I'm like, "Yo, do they know who this man is?" And Clive looks at me and goes, I have 3 goals when I have this conference: to infuriate, inspire, and inform. As long as I do one of the 3, I'm good. And I'm like, what a motto to live by to this day. Inspire, inform, infuriate. If I've done one of the 3, I've done my job. And I stand by that in my life. And I met Prop briefly. And I remember telling him, I'm like, I remember like listening to Excellent and whatever. And like, I was like, I did not know we could say this stuff out loud. And he goes, if you know you're on the right side of history, you're fine. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. It's been a while. And he goes, and if it messes with your means, like your ends, like your cash, find other ways to make cash. And I already knew I was on my way out of ministry, but on that day I was like, I will never muffle myself for money ever again. And I'm like, shout out to Propaganda for being real. Maybe one day he'll like look our way and join the podcast.
Oh my God, why not? Let's try it.
I mean, I'm sure
let's reach out.
I'm sure. Yeah, we'll slide it to Propaganda's DM. Also, his wife is such a boss bitch.
Let's have them both.
Yo, shout out to Dr. P. No, man, she's a PhD. Woo. Like, yes, I just love it. I respect the game. Anywho, this is got way off topic. We got into Christian hip hop.
Yeah, right. Okay. Back to the question.
I did judge. I think I was pretty judgy at a certain point, but like it was very much like youthful zeal. I was like judgy, but especially in the early years, it was like I just really wanted people to meet Jesus.
Yeah.
So I was just really excited about God, and I was like really sad that like people didn't know Him. I don't think it was until I went to university I was really about like sharing it with everybody. Like in high school, I was just like singing Jesus songs all down the hallway all the time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And people would throw their shit at me. Oh yeah. So when I was like, "Shut up!" I'm like, "Make me, Lord, I lift your name on high." Like, I know how to fight. So what we're gonna do? Punch me? Try me.
But I love to sing your praises.
Take me to the cross where you love. Oh, I was singing in the hallways. Just belting out Jesus songs in the hallways, which I did pretty much until like my 30s.
Oh, so good. Yeah, it's still like it happens.
Yeah.
It just flows out. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I just really thought it was a good and beautiful thing and wanted people to know, and felt there were moments where there was more like, oh no, like their souls, you know? But then there was mostly like love, but there were moments where like I would invite friends to Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames.
Oh yeah, you did that.
I was that person.
We forgive you.
Oh, so yucky.
Forgive yourself. It's okay.
That's also my liberation right now, is forgiving myself.
You were young and you were manipulated. It was not your fault. You were young and the adults in your life that you trusted told you that was okay. You did not know any better. You were still underdeveloped in your brain. You were developing your worldview. And someone you trusted with authority told you that the world was a certain way. How could you know any different? Cell phones didn't exist. Google didn't exist like that. All you had was what your parents and pastors and leaders gave you. And these people who cared for you and fed you and loved you. You could not have known any different. There is no condemnation, A, in Christ, and B, outside of it. No, you could not have known.
Yeah.
You were a child. Would you look at like?
That's the thing.
Would you look at your niece and judge her for what she did at 15 or 10?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You wouldn't look at my nieces and be like, "Oh, you had a wrong opinion at fucking 7 years old."
Right. I still have wrong opinions.
And the key is
and we grow and we evolve. Yeah.
So you cannot evolve without making mistakes along the way. So you made mistakes.
Yeah.
It's part of being young.
Yeah.
Forgive yourself. Receive forgiveness.
Yeah. I think it's the releasing there's all that is for sure. I need to sit with all of that.
Of course.
And it's the knowing the harm that still grips people that I.
Yeah. But at the end of the day,
I'm not responsible.
I'm not responsible for them. I'm responsible for me.
Yeah.
I did the best I could with what I had.
Yeah.
And I did, through my beliefs, bring on harm to others. Straight up.
Mm.
And also, I did a lot of good in that time too. And I'm still doing good and still doing harm because we contain multiplicities, right?
Yep. We're multifaceted.
Yeah.
We are human.
It's yes and the people who still stay there choose to stay there. And also, 2024 is not 2015. Let's be very real. There are folks out there who are still in that space, but they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, you know?
They're choosing to stay there.
Yeah.
And that's not on you.
Right.
Baby girl, I'm like, and I will say this like to anyone's face, like call me up, I'll tell you, Jesus led me out of the church and I straight up I stand by it.
Yes.
Right? Like when I was out leaving, I didn't leave out of like, oh, fuck Jesus of the church. No, I was fully a Christian.
Yeah.
And I left because I'm like, the Bible I read and the lives we're living don't match up. And the things we're preaching from the pulpit don't match the xenophobia, the Islamophobia, the racism, the sexism, the homophobia. This does not look like the God you preach me on.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do, but I know that I cannot be here anymore.
Yeah.
And deny myself and deny my neighbor and deny my family for who are you, God? You're not God. It don't match. I don't. You know
Does God want guilt and shame? Then we're not free.
You told me to pray, and so if God should God of the Bible be real, you were all full of the Spirit and you were all full of fucking reading comprehension. Y'all went to fucking public school. Most of y'all have degrees. People we know anyway.
Access the love.
And Google exists.
Yeah. And
Netflix is there. And YouTube is there. You can learn anything. You choose to be blind. You prefer to oppress people and your rightness than to actually seek out truth. They know. I've talked with leaders who are like, if I change my mind, my entire faith would leave. I'm like, no. Because your faith shouldn't be in how you interpret this book.
Right.
It's all about power. A lot of people, I'm like, I think, no. Especially
you have
now.
to deny parts of yourself.
Oh, yeah. It is a choice. And I'm not even here to judge a choice because I get it.
Yeah.
It kills you.
Yeah.
It is there. 2016, 2017, like some of the darkest times of my life. I unraveled this thing that like held me together and sat and I'm like, I gave my entire life and everything. And who the fuck am I now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're not ready to sit in the rubble of the wreckage of your life, you can't do that. So I'm like, I hope you are free.
Yeah.
When it is time for you to be free.
Yeah.
We can't take that on.
Yeah.
Don't take it on.
Yeah. And maybe there's good.
Oh, look. We all have our drugs.
Yeah, that's it.
Mine was Jesus.
Yeah. Token the ghost.
Truly.
Those are good things.
Like, the world's burning. Like, we're watching the end of an empire. I'm like, we're literally watching the end of an era, and like, folks are coping, and some people are gonna cope with fucking
different
religion,
things.
And I'm like,
we're all just trying to get by.
Knock you? I did it for most of my life.
Yeah.
Who might knock you on it?
Yeah.
Just leave me the fuck alone. Leave me out of it.
Please.
That's
just
my
protect
thing.
our peace.
Cope as you wish. Just don't be a dick. On that note,
how are you gonna lead this week with an open heart?
I'm gonna not be a dick. I'm gonna, I don't know. I'm going to purpose to be more in the present moment this week. I think it's easy for me to get into the fucking, there's so much to do and the things and that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? You can't be stressed in the present moment. Someone said that today. I was like, I'm in today, in the now. I can't be stressed because stress is from worry
in the moment
and whatever. I got, and what I'm here right now. And right now, I'm in this room with some beautiful humans. You know.
It's like, leave me out of it.
No, Jacob's beautiful human too. I'm just saying. And I get to do something cool with someone I love, and talk about something that is important to me, and hopefully share with other people who also will value it, and that's great, and that's enough.
Yeah.
And then in 5 minutes from now, I'll do it 5 minutes from now. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do for joy in my life this week.
Beautiful.
Purpose to be more present moment. You too?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been spending more time by the water, which has been so.
I've been seeing the photos.
Been so good for my nervous system and my soul. So just sitting Like, be more grounded and just noticing the judgments, but noticing what's in my body so that I can be like, hey, instead of continually trying to run from my body, just being like, hey, I see you. I notice you. I acknowledge you. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Let's move to the ocean. Let's blow this colonial popsicle stand.
Say less.
All right. Fight the power. Free Palestine. Take care of yourselves. Be present. Drink water. Eat food. You know? Have an orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
Deuces.
Blessings.